Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
David Schwartz's end goal for the XRP ledger is something that is critical for you guys to understand, as he is the head CTO at Ripple and one of the most important developers on the XRP ledger. When David Schwartz speaks, it is critical that we pay very close attention, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down what I believe is the most important aspect of everything XRP. So listen up, and then we'll break it down and make it super easy for you guys to understand.
The vision for the XRP ledger, and that could be, years away because there's iterations, there's things being worked on, innovation. What's the end goal? And I know that's a very loaded question, so as much as you can disclose.
I can tell you, I had this very early, and I think I've held it all the time. I still think that this is probably the right, end vision, which is, and I've used this phrase many times over the last 8 years, is pools of liquidity that anybody can contribute to and draw off. And what I mean is, we're going to be a multi-currency world for a very long time. And there's no end state in which we're not at least multi-asset. Even if, let's say, Bitcoin takes over the world, just being ridiculous, well, maybe not, who knows? Let's say Bitcoin takes over the world. Still, someone's going to want to hold shares in the real estate investment trust in the Seychelles Islands that I keep using in my example. People are not going to want, not everyone's going to want to hold Bitcoin all the time like that. Or they're going to need liquidity. There's no world where we're not going to need cross-asset payments. We're going to need liquidity.
Okay, so I know that was likely a lot to take in, but I'm going to break this down for you super easy and show you why this goal of pools of liquidity that anyone else can draw on is going to require a price for XRP that is astronomically higher than where it is today. So, to break it down real simple, what we have on the screen right here is David Schwartz's pools of liquidity. We have USD, stocks, copper, crypto, and then milk. So obviously milk is more of a joke, but you do have milk derivatives, you have milk trading pairs, and each one of these bubbles or pools of liquidity is sized appropriately to how big the asset class is. Our crypto one's a little big, we can shrink that down a little bit, but honestly it doesn't really matter for this example. What we can see right here is we can see we only have liquidity from USD to all these different asset classes drawn out. We can see and we know that USD is one of the most liquid assets in the entire world, so it's not a big deal to go to USD, to copper, to crypto, to stocks and milk. We do it all the day, and this is a very easy trade. There's little friction when you're going to USD from USD to anything else, and it's because USD is the reserve asset for the entire world. Very easy to break down, super easy to conceptualize. I hope I haven't lost anyone yet. Let's keep moving though, and let's take a drastic example on the other side of this. Say the only asset you had was milk. Going from milk to stocks, milk to USD, milk to crypto, or milk to copper is almost impossible. The milk market is extremely illiquid compared to any of these other markets. There's almost no liquidity if you showed up to someone who had made copper with a bunch of milk and said, I would like to trade. That would be absurd. On the other hand, though, if you went to a place that made copper with a bunch of USD and said, I would like to trade you some of my USD for your copper, that is a very liquid trade. So these are two stark, drastic examples, complete opposite sides of the spectrum, but there is everything in between, and this chart gets more and more complicated as we draw more and more lines over each other. We have all the different spectrums and everything in between going on. For example, copper to crypto, that might be very illiquid, but more liquid than milk to crypto. And copper to stocks might also be illiquid, but more liquid than copper to crypto. So, as you can see, the more and more asset classes you add to this, and the more you draw these lines, the more complex the scenario gets. You constantly have different trading pairs, different assets, all trying to be paired together, and it sometimes gets very complex because some assets just simply are not liquid. They will never be liquid to another asset because the underlying asset itself on its own is not liquid. Therefore, you get value stuck in these different markets because, say I make copper and I have a ton of copper on me, so much copper that I can't necessarily be getting rid of the copper fast enough. But what if there was an option where I could have instant liquidity on my copper and be able to transform it into any other asset like that? Well, you're slowly starting to figure out what David Schwartz's end goal for the XRP ledger is. Next slide. So right here, we have what David Schwartz's end goal for the XRP ledger is. And I noticed after making this, I switched peso with copper. Peso with crypto, doesn't really matter. The same principles apply. What we are looking at right now is these different asset classes broken into approximations of what they are. USD, 50 trillion. US stock market, 40 trillion. Copper, 4.5. Peso, 5 trillion. Milk, 0.5 trillion. USD in stocks is correct. The other ones are kind of estimations. Once again, doesn't matter. What you need to understand is when you have a bridge asset like XRP that creates liquidity pools between every single trading pair, illiquid markets instantly disappear. Suddenly, if I want to go from milk to copper, I go milk is liquid to XRP, XRP is liquid to copper. If I want to go copper to the peso, I go copper to XRP to the peso. If I want to go milk to US stocks, I can go milk to XRP to US stocks. The bridge asset is liquid to everything, so you don't need to have every single asset being liquid to every other asset. You have every single asset liquid to XRP, and then instantly every single asset is liquid to every single asset. And here is where it gets very, very exciting. In order for XRP to be liquid to all these assets, it needs to have the value of all these assets combined. That means if XRP is going to be liquid to the US dollar, the XRP has to have at least the value of the dollar backing it so that it can be redeemable for the USD. If XRP is going to be liquid to milk, it has to have at least the liquidity of the US dollar and milk added together so that you can make the trade from one asset to the other. Obviously, that's an asymmetrical trade, but you need to understand that this web I made right here is a tiny sliver of all the asset classes that can be made liquid to XRP, and rather than having an interconnected web of all these different assets trying to be liquid to each other and not creating the liquidity necessary, because it's impossible to have all these trading pairs. You have all these trading pairs liquid to XRP, and then XRP is liquid to everything else. It instantly solves the problem of liquidity, and this is David Schwartz's end game for the XRP ledger. So how does this tie in to a high-priced XRP, and why is a high-priced XRP so critical to this concept? Well, first of all, we know that the XRP ledger network is made of a set amount or a deflating amount of XRP. Therefore, for XRP to capture the value to be liquid to all these markets, then the price of the XRP times the amount in the circulating supply needs to be equal to the value that it is creating liquidity to. And I did the math very simply here. So right here we have all these assets that I just put on the screen. They add up to 100 trillion. Therefore, the assets behind XRP also have to be 100 trillion. So if we have $100 trillion worth in assets that need to be liquid on the XRP ledger, divided by 100 billion total XRP, with a note that this 100 billion is constantly deflating at about of a little less than 1% a year, we are looking at an XRP that could be equal to $1,000, and we are just looking at a tiny subsets of some random assets that I put on the screen. Let me show you how quickly this compounds and how big this can get, because this is gonna blow your mind more than anything I just showed you. Right here, we have the derivatives market valued at $1 quadrillion on the low hand. $1 quadrillion, and I've seen estimates up to $5 quadrillion. This is one other market we just added to the equation that literally blew all the others we just put on the screen out of the water. Imagine if you add debt to this. Imagine if you had other derivative markets, other stock markets, other currencies. You would slowly start to understand how insane the price of XRP can get the more liquidity pairs it gains and the more markets it becomes liquid to, which is David Schwartz's end game for the XRP ledger. And guys, XRP is in so much more than that. Look at the top 100 banks using Ripple. All of these banks are going to have their own coin, and XRP is going to be the bridge, the interoperable currency that links every one of these top 100 banks to one another, and is going to create pools of liquidity between banks, pools of liquidity between crypto, pools of liquidity between stocks, pools of liquidity between resources, and that value will be represented in the XRP you and I hold. I wanted to read one more thing to you guys and just end this on a bullish note. This is Tony Valentino. He used to tweet out about the XRP ledger. I just wanted to read you what he had to say and just end this video out with a bang. No, I want to ask you, which company is being called the Swift Killer? Which company has been positioning a digital asset to become a global reserve digital asset? Which company is working with the banks and governments? Which company has their tech integrated with leading banking and payment software providers to allow for a flip of the switch ease of access. There are roughly thousands of cryptos. If you said Ripple and XRP, you are dead right. There is not an accident or speculation. This is fact. I challenge you to prove me wrong. What does this mean? It means after hundreds of years of different sovereign currencies dominating, leading to the failure after failure, the US dollar will be the last sovereign currency to ever hold its position as the global reserve currency. Do you think the Bank of England, Mark Carney, calling for digital currency to replace the US dollar was just some uncalculated talk? Do you think Brad Garlinghouse meeting with central banks in Switzerland was for nothing? XRP is loved by the IMF, the BIS, etc. There's no coincidence. Ripple has been captured since 2014. Their goal have been directed by hidden hands. What you see is just a surface. The tech Ripple offers and provides cannot be matched by any other today. Interledger protocol is a game changer. This allows trades to be conducted using any currency or asset. This links up the whole financial world. ILP is like the veins to the body, and XRP is the blood.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.